Welcome to To Be Continued. We're your host. I'm Christian.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Riley.
And let's talk about conference championship weekend, shall we? It's been a rough playoffs. Our records haven't been updated to you guys, but they have around. I'm 4-6. I think Caleb as well is also. Caleb's actually better than me. He's like 5-5.
Wow, I'm surprised. I've been picking with my heart, and my heart's been steering me wrong.
Did you pick the Packers or the Niners? I couldn't remember.
Niners.
You're 6-4.
I knew they. Wow, that's surprising.
He's 8-2. He's dominating out here. I thought the Packers would do good. I thought the Bills would win. That's my mistake. Stephon Diggs, you bum. Anyway, we'll start off this with the 3:00 AFC Championship game. We got the 3 seed Kansas City Chiefs versus the home Baltimore Ravens.
I'm gonna miss having football on Saturday. I've actually enjoyed having football Saturday afternoon.
That's why they got to move those Thursday night games.
Yeah, forget Thursday night. I'd give up Monday too. Let's have all football just be the weekend.
Well, they can't do it because of college. They don't want to interfere with.
Nobody cares about college. College play Monday nights.
I agree.
College football is dead.
I agree. I don't find college football that entertaining, but everybody's like, Saturdays are college.
It's not entertaining. Yep. I'm not going to watch another game until Saban's coaching my Florida Gators. Back to the promised land. JK, they're never coming back unless Urban Meyer comes. Okay, 3:00 game.
Which one do you want to start?
AFC. I'll start.
All right.
AFC Championship.
Chiefs-Ravens.
Chiefs-Ravens in Baltimore.
50 degrees.
50 degrees. Ooh, that's even better for my boy. But it seems like the Chiefs receivers catch better in the freezing cold, like frigid conditions. It's weird.
It's not that. They just get better when the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Chiefs, for ever doubting you. But I'm picking the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win. They're going to win the Super Bowl, no matter who they play. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback of all time, and he's just going to continue to cement his case. I don't believe in the Ravens. The Texans had the Ravens on the ropes in the first half, and they just couldn't put it away. The offensive line couldn't block anybody. Now, give the props to the Ravens defensive line for getting after it. But Stroud was just running for his life the whole time, and nobody was open. So I think the Chiefs are going to be ready for it. Andy Reid's going to be ready. Spagnuolo is going to be ready. He's a great defensive coordinator. Wasn't the great head coach of my Rams. But I've forgiven him.
You know, some people are just better coordinators, and some people are better.
It's true.
Like head coaches.
Yep. Like your boy Frank Reich, who you staked a full Shady Maple dinner on.
I did.
Being a good coach. Yeah, so I'm saying the Chiefs win, but I do think it's going to be relatively close. I'll say let's say 31-24. I think they're going to score.
You think they're going to score 30?
Absolutely.
The best defense in football.
Didn't the Rams put up 38 on them? The Ravens defense is the most overrated defense in football.
You're right.
They're overrated. They're not that good. Their secondary is weak. Their secondary is not that good.
If you don't mind me asking, what receiver on the Chiefs can even touch Puka or Cooper?
Well, the Rams score 38. They don't need 38. They need 31.
Who on their team can come close to Puka or Cooper?
I mean, in terms of raw speed, Hardman's faster. Valdez-Scantling's faster. Probably Kadarius Toney's faster.
John Ross is fast. That don't mean you're good.
That's true, but I mean...
Hey, John Ross was good when he could put the blunt down.
Greatest man receiver of all time.
I'm telling you, if he put the blunt down, he was good.
And also, Travis Kelce is as good as any of those guys. And he's back. Playoff Kelce. He's here. He was just sandbagging.
Just getting healthy.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs, actually in general, I think they were sandbagging.
I do too. I think they were trying to just get all the hopes down, and everybody's like, "Oh, what are they doing?" It's kind of like, remember how LeBron used to be in the East, where he would just take the season off until it got to the playoffs, and then ramp up. That's kind of what this year's Chiefs team kind of feels like.
Yep.
So you said score predictions 31-24?
31-24. Yep. I don't care about scores. I'm not a betting man. I don't put money on things. I just think the Chiefs are going to win.
Put Shady Maple on things.
Well, that was a fool's bet for you.
Yeah.
I don't want to I don't want to follow you, but I can't go against the NFL script writers and having Taylor Swift and Jason Kelce, who now have the most spotlight on the NFL Instagram and Twitter, and they happen to be in the same booth. watching the Chiefs football game. But when I was watching the Texans game after the first quarter or after the first half, they kind of just let Lamar Jackson take the ball and run, which is what he's good at, and he took over the game. And also the Texans didn't score another touchdown or anything for like the rest of the game. So I'm going to go ahead with the Ravens on this one. And I'm going to go 24-17 Ravens.
All right. You see, to me, it's coming down to what's going to happen more likely to happen. Because if you look at numbers, if you look at team, if you look at everything that you pick with this team, everything says go Ravens, go Ravens, go Ravens. However, I learned from my mistakes. You do not bet against Patrick Mahomes, just like you should never bet against Tom Brady.
It's true.
That explains a lot.
Say something.
Test.
Nope.
No.
Didn't change it. I don't know if you're coming through here. Say, just tap on it, honestly. Yeah, it's not giving us any sound here.
Is that everything here right? Is this right?
It should be. I can hear you. There we go. That's in now.
Test.
It's not super loud, but it is there.
Say something.
Test.
Yeah, definitely there now.
Yeah, it just has to be a little louder. All right.
Yeah. So you're just going to be really quiet for that
Okay.
take, I guess.
Cool.
Sorry. I'll just turn you.
The rest of us are loud, so.
It's all right.
All right. Well,
Somebody set up the audio stuff, so.
sorry.
So that goes in the line in, not insert, right?
Yeah.
Insert. Yeah, that's what the other one says.
Yeah.
We don't want insert. We want line in.
All right. Well, when you look at these two teams, one, Mahomes is 3-1 versus Lamar all time. Even though in the most recent matchup, Lamar did win. Difference is, all those games, Lamar had Greg Roman. His offensive coordinator now is much better. They run a much more pro-style offense. Everything's more spread out. When you look at how the Chiefs have been playing defense, yes, their defense has been good. But my question is, who would you rather have? They struggled to go against the Bills, right? Bills had one good receiver, Stephon Diggs. Now, if we line up both of these receiving cores of the Bills and the Ravens, who would you rather have? Ravens or the Bills receiving cores? Yes, by the name of Stephon Diggs, you're thinking, okay, maybe I should go Bills. They didn't have Gabe Davis. They didn't have a lot of their players.
Yeah, Diggs is the best talent-wise. But then, without Gabe Davis, the Ravens probably have the next four.
Yeah, because the Ravens don't have the big superstar name. Like, Odell's a name, but he's not what he once was.
He will be when he re-signs with L.A. this offseason.
He will be when he wins his second Super Bowl.
Zay Flowers.
Sure, he is big time.
Zay Flowers he's a beast. Second best rookie receiver in the league. Nelson Aguilar somehow learned to catch a football going to Baltimore. Would not have put money on
Nah,
it.
he learned that in Oakland. He was good as soon as he left Philly, really. I mean, okay, he's a lot better.
Don't forget about the Super Bowl season where he happened to go off and become an all-star receiver for one season.
But then you're looking at the way Lamar plays, and yet his numbers won't flash off the screen at you. I mean, 24 touchdowns. I think it was only like 7 or 8 picks. And only 3,000 yards passing, pretty much, or 3,800. I'm sorry. But you look at the way he's playing. He's just playing efficient football. He's not really doing turnover-worthy plays. Say what you want. He's been deadly from the pocket the last couple weeks. Their defense outside, they've been really good this season outside of that Rams game. Like, since the Rams game, they've been dominant, and this is the best defense Mahomes has gone against in the playoffs since the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. I don't really think it's debatable. And one thing I'll say, I think the reason the Chiefs have really been able to look like a dominant offense the last 2 weeks is both the Bills and Dolphins were missing a lot of their defensive pieces. Dolphins didn't have Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips. I don't even think they had Xavier Howard, but he was a little banged up. A lot of their defensive pieces weren't on the field. Then you look at the Bills. Von Miller's a shell of the Rams legend he once was.
True.
You have...
He'll be back this all season too.
Tre'Davious White wasn't playing at all. The Bills were horrible with injuries. Like, they were just beat up everywhere. But let's look at some of these numbers. Ravens are 12-2 versus teams over 500 this season when Lamar's starting. That's incredible. That's a way above league average. The Chiefs were 5-4, but as we were just talking about, I'm pretty sure Mahomes was just taking it easy most season, trying to get his receivers confident up. But I will say this is what I'm looking forward to. This is going to depend on where my pick goes. Kadarius Toney is questionable. If he plays, Chiefs lose. If he doesn't play, Chiefs win.
You talking Kadarius Toney or Joe Tooney?
Kadarius Toney. It's Toney. It's not Tony. They always say Tony, but if you ask him, he says, my name's Toney.
Patrick
Okay.
Mahomes is also his favorite player on the Chiefs. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long you guys are going to fall for this, but Lamar Jackson can't play a big game.
Hold on. Have I gave my pick? I just told you.
Go ahead. Continue.
Lamar struggles in big moments. That
Oh,
was-
so you're predicting that the Chiefs could win if Tony does not play?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't think he will play. And just as you just said, Lamar struggles in big moments. I will never, until Lamar shows me otherwise, put my money for Lamar to win a game versus Pat Mahomes. And let's be honest, I told you, when you said 31, I was like, oh, that's a little too high. I would not be, if Tooney plays, they don't even score 15 points. If he does play, or if he doesn't play, they score 21 and they're going to win 21-17.
Who's going to win?
Chiefs.
If he does play or he doesn't play?
If he doesn't play, they win 21-17. If he does play, Ravens win 24-14.
I just find it hard to believe that you're going to hold Patrick Mahomes to that many points in 50-degree weather.
There's a chance this game gets ugly. Not for the Chiefs to blow out the Ravens. There's a chance the Ravens dog water all over the Chiefs.
I would bet. I'm
bet
not
it,
a betting man.
I wouldn't
but
say it's
I
gonna
would
happen.
bet that there.
But I'm saying there's
Yes,
a chance
I-
it happens.
No.
listen, buddy. Baltimore is just like Philadelphia. It is dangerous at home in playoffs.
The Chiefs have to score first.
Well, yeah, I guess I was going to say how dangerous were they against the Bucks, but they weren't at home.
Yeah. Also, if they were home, somebody probably would have died.
All right.
Sirianni.
So two of us
Yeah.
have the Chiefs. One of us has the Ravens.
Yep. Just don't believe in Lamar. That's what it comes down to. I don't believe in him. And my lasting takeaway of the Ravens was watching their defense not stop the Rams. And I think Pacheco's back. Pacheco's healthy. The offensive line, as long as Tooney, the actual Tooney, is there and playing. Because he is questionable,
Well,
right?
They say he's going to play, though, because all he had was a little pec strain.
Okay.
So they're saying it's not very major.
Little pec strain. Probably. Yeah, so I would that offensive line's intact. Pacheco's in there. I like their chances.
Now, can I say this, though? The Chiefs and Ravens defenses are both playing phenomenal. It's because they both have a position most of the league thinks is not a good position to value. Linebacker. Roquan Smith is the best linebacker in football. Sorry, Fred Warner. It's not you anymore. Roquan Smith's a beast.
I give him that one.
As much as I hate him, I
love Fred Warner.
there's no better combo than Warner and Greenlaw.
Agreed. But
I hate them both. They're both cheap shot artists, but
Roquan Smith's better than Fred Warner, but Drake Greenlaw is better than Patrick Queen.
Fred Warner got body slammed by a wide receiver, so
That's true. Roquan Smith got blocked by Carson Wentz, though.
Carson Wentz is an athletic phenomenon, according to you two.
he is a monster.
6'5"?
He's a physical specimen.
240?
Physical specimen.
I've been down Lamar Jackson all season. I didn't even think he'd make it this far without being injured, and he has proved me wrong the entire season. So
I'm not worried about him being injured. I'm worried about him being able to play in the big moment.
I didn't say anything. I'm just saying.
And I don't think the Texans were a real test. I mean, they beat Joe Flacco, and I believed in Joe Flacco. I thought Flacco and that the Browns defense would show up. The Browns defense did not show up.
You know what I meant? I should have pointed out when we did the.
So I don't want to ever hear you talk about Myles Garrett in the same conversation with Aaron Donald again. Don't let me hear that again.
Wait a minute. They play two totally different positions.
Doesn't matter.
It does
They're on the
matter.
defensive line. Don't want to hear about
One
it.
plays interior, one's the edge.
The greatest defensive lineman of all time, you got
Aaron Donald, number one.
Aaron Donald, number one.
J.J. Watt, number two.
Number two is playoff Vaughn. Rams playoff Vaughn.
Huh?
Playoff Vaughn.
Can you say that again?
I think
Michael Strahan
How many titles
Does
did J.J. Watt win?
Because he was on the Texans.
Okay. Do the Broncos win without Von Miller?
Who did J.J. Watt
No,
ever have
they
opposite?
wouldn't.
Well, wait. Can you please name me a player J.J. Watt ever had opposite of as dominant as DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware was like 50 years
He
old
had
at that
16 and a half sacks his first
point.
year.
Yeah, because he had a freak on the other side.
Listen, this is the same argument that I made about Khalil Mack having Joey Bosa on the other side. So Khalil Mack is number 3 in sacks in the regular season this year because he got Joey Bosa on the other side.
It helps you to have somebody on the other side, though. Who did J.J. Watt have? Jadeveon Clowney's a
Marcus
great.
Lawrence.
It's Davion Clowney.
Jadeveon Clowney's a
that's
great.
You see
run
that
stop.
college hit?
Yeah, he knocked the helmet off of that running back.
That's the most iconic college football play ever.
It was right off the handoff, too. That was a split second.
Yeah. Best defensive college play ever.
That's what got him drafted number 1 overall.
Yeah.
He sucked outside.
And you know what? He's the Ravens' best defensive lineman. Same dude.
Oh, Michael Pierce. Whoa.
Who?
Michael Pierce, best nose tackle in football.
Clowney's been
Run
getting
stuff.
after it this year.
I'm sorry,
Clowney's been doing
I can't
well.
give it to a guy wearing 24 on a defense line. It's just hideous.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, well, let's move on to the game I think we probably should all agree on, outside of you being a Rams homer here. So we're going to go Lions versus Niners. Riley?
Is Debo playing?
It's questionable.
All right. If Debo's not playing, I'm going with the Lions. Because they, I've already heard that if Debo isn't playing, that locker room is kind of shattered. So it looks bad for the 49ers. Granted, last season, they probably would have made it to the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Purdy getting hurt. But Aiden Hutchinson has looked pretty good throughout playoffs.
He hasn't played Trent Williams.
You know, he had 2 sacks against the Rams, but I didn't even notice him. I didn't notice him. How did he get 2 sacks?
Because every sack he gets, he's unblocked.
But are they like? I think they're the sacks where like the quarterback's running forward and he runs into the guy.
Yes.
Like because he didn't sack Stafford in the backfield. But I heard him talking on the radio like, "Hey, you had 2 sacks against the Rams." I'm like, who are they talking to? And then they said it was Hutchinson. I'm like, what? I don't remember that. I don't even remember him being there.
All whenever you say Hutchinson versus the Rams playoff game, the only thing that keeps popping in mind is the cheap shot where Stafford was on the ground, and I thought Stafford was
Yeah, he stepped on that was an unreal sequence. There were like 3 different pass interferences where if you did that to Mahomes,
dude.
like did it game over, Rams win, forfeit from Detroit. But because it's Stafford, the most uncalled rough passer in the league.
Dude,
it's crazy.
can I say something? Stafford knows how to get past the concussion protocol.
He was out down there.
He was seeing some stars. He went to the ribs. I'm like, you smart son of a gun.
He didn't want to look like Tua. Too far.
All right, buddy.
I guess I went there first. So.
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we talked about it before. We talked about how the 49ers have an interesting, I guess, they don't really struggle, but they don't really play as good as they normally do when they play against a team that plays rough. And the Lions have been playing rough throughout playoffs. I mean, they tore Tyler Higbee's ACL apart, so.
Cheap shots.
It's okay. It's the playoffs.
Did you see that thing that the NFL, that sign that the NFL has been like sharing around the world, and all the players are just like, what are you guys doing? Because it was like kneecap. It's it's Campbell's speech, but like you shredded that ACL, you shredded that ACL, and like,
come on.
I think Jalen Ramsey was like, really, you guys are gonna like celebrate this?
Yeah,
He's like, these are players being injured. Like a man's livelihood might be gone.
The sign wasn't meant for that. Like it was meant for we're taking out this team, we're getting up, we're taking down this team.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Now, I will say this. What I'm intrigued about this matchup is you got the cheap shot in Lions versus the king of cheap shots in the 49ers. Like, who's going to out cheap shot who here?
By the looks of it, I don't mean George Kittle, watch your knees. Because the same guy took out Tyler Higbee and he took out Hawkinson.
And Brock Purdy was not especially accurate in the last game.
No. So, but I'm gonna stick with the Lions just because I know we're all gonna agree, and if we agree, then the Lions are definitely winning. So I'm gonna go stick with the Lions, and I'm gonna go with 27-24. I'm thinking it's a field goal at the end.
I'm hoping for that happens. I'm hoping the Lions win. I'd love to see it.
Me too.
I'm torn here because I don't want to see the Lions win.
But you don't want to see the Niners.
I also want to see the Niners win. I do like Jared Goff. Always been a Goff fan. But I don't think Goff is going to be able to stand up in San Francisco. I think that is going to be too much for him. For the most part, they're healthy, right? Defensive line. They're all there. even the ghost of Chase Young.
Yeah. Before we move on, can we both acknowledge? Can we all acknowledge I was right about Chase Young?
Yeah, he's a scrub.
Dude's a scrub.
What was he? What pick was he?
Number 2 overall.
two.
Yeah,
I've heard all. We traded him. Everybody was like, "How could they trade him for a third-round pick?" We fleeced him for a third-round pick.
Yeah, he's a rotational pass rusher at this point.
He wants $25 million a year.
Yeah, what he needs to do, he needs to take a 1-year deal in Los Angeles, play beside Aaron Donald. I'm not saying this because I want him on the Rams. I'm telling this would be the best thing for him.
I agree.
Play beside Aaron Donald,
Cheap.
get you 12, 14 sacks, whatever. Get your big money.
His problem is it's not that he
somewhere
can't
else.
get to the quarterback. He struggles at finishing around the quarterback. He can't get him down to the ground. Like, he'll just put his arms on it, then the guy slips out.
Well,
But,
Okay. All right.
why? So yeah,
you're a Rams fan.
was this? I haven't given my pick yet.
Yeah, I know. There's just one thing I
Okay.
want to bring forward.
Okay.
You're a Rams fan.
Yep.
You remember watching golf.
Mm-hmm.
Golf's without pressure is Tom Brady. What always struggled with golf? What did golf suck with?
Pressure. Make him move his feet in these. Yeah, I just don't believe that. I don't think Detroit's ready for this matchup. This is going to be a slugfest, and they're not going to be the only ones hitting dirty this time.
Agreed.
And I think San Francisco, a big part of it is Debo. Like, that is just a different team without Debo, because I think what it is Debo is a combination of power back, wide receiver, like number 1 wide receiver and tight end. And he's like, he makes up for what Brock Purdy lacks. And so when he's not there, I think Brock Purdy knows that, and he feels it, and he's just not the same dude. And Brock Purdy is still a
He's
7th
young.
round QB.
Yeah.
He's a game manager, like my guy Cam Newton said. He's a game manager. That's what he is.
To me,
That's all he will ever be.
He's Tom Brady before the rules changed. Everybody forgets what that Tom Brady was like. Everybody's like, "What do you mean? He's the Hall of Famer?" No. Tom Brady before 2006 was the greatest game manager in the history of football. And Brock Purdy's game-winning drive versus the Packers was right out of the old Tom Brady handbook. Check down here, check down here, check down here. Hey, that first throw to Ayuk was beautiful. That second one was pretty much incomplete. Ayuk just saved him.
Well, that's how. Yeah, that's how they beat the Rams, and that's in the ugliest Super Bowl of all time. That 13-6 or whatever that score was.
13-3.
Yeah, whatever. If they just would throw it over the middle, 5 yards to Edelman, no one would bother to cover him, and they got enough, so they won. And it was just ugly football, and Edelman was the only one that they threw to, and he only threw 5-10 yards down the field, but it worked. And I think that's what Brock Purdy's got to do.
Yes.
But I think he'll be able to do it. And I think, but again, I'm with Riley. I think Debo's a big part of this. I think if Debo plays and is close to 100%, which he probably won't be, but he'll probably give his best, I think the 49ers can win this easy. But I don't think he's going to be 100%. I think it's going to be a close game. But I think the 49ers win ugly, like 21-18.
So Debo plays. What's your score prediction? Do you stick with the Lions? 27-24?
Nah, if Debo plays, I'm going with 49ers, but I don't really have a prediction for it. I just think the 49ers will win.
All right. So this has been the year of the Lions ending streaks, right? First time they've had a winning season, over 12 wins since 1962. First time they've gone to the NFC Championship game since 1991. But they got to end one more. They haven't won road playoff games in a long time. They haven't won in San Francisco since November 2nd,